Welcome back to the Girl Cave. On my last video, several of you noticed my cheat sheet that I used to put my page kit together, and you asked about it. So I decided to reprint it because I had taken notes on it and I'd written something extra. So I reprinted it and I printed it out a little larger so that you can see it. But I wanted to share with you my process. So I keep this with me as a cheat sheet because sometimes, you're in the process and you kind of get caught in the same routine. And I thought this would be lovely. Now, when I'm choosing my papers, the first thing that I'm going to look for is a multicolored sheet of paper. And that could be floral, it could be a geometric, or it could be text. It just has to have multiple colors that I can then choose my other papers from there. So I have a floral. We have this, which is stitch. That's a geometric. I have a small floral. I have a larger motif kind of paper. I have this one. They're all multicolor. And notice the scale on these three are about the same, medium to large. These are smaller scales, and I have a stripe. Now, this does not mean that this is going to be my base paper or my foundation. This could just be used as an accent. I could start my base with something that's a little bit more subdued, maybe a tone on tone, or maybe even a solid cardstock. It does not mean that this has to be your base paper. It could be, but it doesn't have to. You're just trying to combine papers together to have a good mix. So once you have your multicolor paper, then you're going to look at the different colors and pull from there. And you're going to look at two things. You're going to look at the colors and you're going to look at the scale in that inspiration piece that you picked. Because if I have this beautiful multicolored paper here, I don't want to pull a geometric that is going to be the same scale because they would compete. I want to pick something that's going to be a smaller scale than the original so that there's a lot of visual interest. Let me put these aside and I'll show you what would be some good choices. So I have a floral and it's medium to large scale. A good choice for that would be a tone on tone print. And if you can see, I don't know that you can, but maybe if I bring it up closer, it's a very, very tiny scale. I have a dot. It's a smaller scale than the flowers. I have a text, and again, the text is smaller scale. Let's look at the stripe. What would work with that stripe? The text would work. The dots and the tone on tone. Just make sure that you are looking at both the colors and the scale so that you don't have things that are competing. Once I've chosen my papers, then I'm going to start thinking about adding my embellishments to that page. I tend to look at least 4 of these categories. Sometimes I use this one, but that's not I'll use number 5 when I'm a little bit bored of doing the same thing. But on a regular basis, I use the first 4 categories. So I look for my cluster bases. And pretty much at this point, I've realized that anything could be a cluster base. It just has to be a little bit larger. I could use a tag as a cluster base. I just need to make sure that it picks up from the colors. So maybe green, the pink would look really good. I love that one. Even this one, okay. I could use some journaling cards. Just make sure again that I'm looking at the colors in my papers and even the motifs. So I have some flowers. Look at this one. This one looks really, really good. I can start adding things here. They can be simple. You can cover things. You can also look for larger embellishments that may come with the kit and this sticker sheet, I could probably use that as a cluster base, maybe even the cloud, and start adding things around it and underneath the umbrella. And then throughout the page, I want to make sure that I also have flat elements such as stickers and die cuts, word stickers, other labels, other tags, just, you know, at least create like a diagonal design, or maybe you want to do your triangle, whatever. Just make sure that you use different things, right? Even rub-ons are really good to use. I love using rub-ons. I'm going to make sure that I have dimensional elements on my page. So I'm going to pick wood veneer, enamel dots, chipboard, flowers, brads and eyelets. And by the way, I have a video that I will link below on 5 different ways to use your eyelets on your pages. Buttons, puffy stickers, stickers as well. You know, whether they're for your title or alphas. Don't forget that you can put foam tape on anything that's flat and make it dimensional. And then I like to add texture to my pages by using doilies, maybe ribbons, flowers, corrugated paper, cork. The Dollar Tree, you can get these sheets of cork. And you don't have to use the adhesive that comes with it because I'm not really sure. I don't think it is acid free. But as long as you don't put it near your pictures, it should be fine. You can use your ATG gun on this. You can use stencils and paste, add a little bit of stitching, distressing, tearing, use embossing folders, anything that's going to add like a little raised texture that you can touch, you know, just something that's not flat and slick, a little bit different. And then sometimes I like to add some stamping or inking, or use my chalks. I still use my chalks. I love them because it's easy to use. Staples, paper clips, and mats are not just for your photos. Remember that you can mat your entire layout, and sometimes that just gives it a little extra. I'm going to include close-up pictures of this right here for you. Go ahead and take a screenshot of it or copy it down. For me personally, I like to print it in a smaller size so that it fits easier on my little rolling cart, my vending machine, and I have it nearby. When I feel like I've been doing the same thing over and over, I'll look at my paper and it just seeing it there. I know it, but just looking at it just makes me push out of my comfort zone and do something a little different every once in a while. I want to thank those ladies that reach out to me and ask about my cheat sheet. And I'm glad that I was able to share with you, because that's the best thing about this community, is being able to share and learn from each other. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like before you leave, and I will see you again next week. Bye.